What's up, everybody? It's your boy Smellsworth. This is the Saltcast, the official podcast of the Salt Mine 1v1 tournament series. It's co-hosted by myself and the show match god, Johnny Boy. Each week, we interview pros and figureheads from the Rocket League community to find out their backstories and how they got to where they are now. The show is recorded live on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/smellsworthless every Tuesday or Wednesday. So sometimes you might hear references to the chat or the inevitability of me messing up audio production, and occasionally something doesn't translate well to audio. Stick with us. We're getting better at these things every show, and if you'd like to, obviously come by and catch the show live every week. The show will be published on all podcasting platforms, YouTube, and on Twitch. If we happen to miss your platform, send me a message. We'll fix it right away. You can find all these releases, the stream schedule, and more at my site, smelly.af. That's right. Smelly.af. Now it's time to enjoy the show. And we are live, I believe.
I believe. It looks pretty live to me.
What's up, chat? How's everybody doing? You guys enjoying my scuffed stream setup where I'm just like using Salt Mine 2 stuff and had my title set to Salt Mine qualifiers?
How's the volume, everybody? Is it sounding good?
Yo,
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, give us some volume checks here. I am a complete and utter noob / boomer in this environment. So
I'm loud, apparently.
Need your help.
Extremely loud. Sorry.
Yeah. Talk. You talk again. Oh yeah, you are loud.
Hello?
Yeah.
Johnny, a bit loud. Sorry, guys.
Give us a bang.
Well, I don't know about that. Well, we don't need to worry about me giving you a bang because it's
Why?
not likely I'll be
You don't-
shouting during a podcast, so
you
it's
sure?
probably fine.
Are you
Yeah,
sure?
I think we're probably all right on the shouting
Some
front.
some very chill topics.
Yeah, nothing too controversial, or is it?
Yet.
I guess you'll have to wait and find out.
Yet.
Am I still loud, everybody?
Smellsworth, go louder.
Careful what you wish for.
I would love to, my man.
Be careful what you wish for.
That's true. Too true. All right. Sound is coming around. Seems like everybody's pretty into it right now. What are you drinking right now, dude? You got your chill bottle. Are you still on water, or are you switching over?
Water.
Okay.
This is water, but I've got another just a cup of more water, obviously, because this is a very professional podcast.
Well,
where we drink water from multiple vessels.
Listen. It is 1:17 a.m. and I am an adult. Yes. So I am going to drink a little bit of alcohol. It's not going to be anything crazy. I think
What have you got there? I've got to watch on the stream. I can't watch live for what you've got.
This is arak. Where my Arabs?
No way.
Where are my Arabs in the chat?
Arak, or as Tristan called it, Iraq.
Oh my god!
So I was visiting Lebanon because Matt here asked me if I wanted to go to Lebanon for New Year between what years would it have been, 2018, 19?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
Before the world.
Yeah, this is where I discovered Arak. How do you say it?
Arak, yeah,
Arak.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, one of your American friends, one of our American friends kept pronouncing it Iraq whenever he ordered it.
Yeah,
please stop doing that.
He is just he's a little bit you know, some people are like tone deaf when it comes to music. Tristan's like he's just a bit like language deaf, like even like Spanish and stuff he hears all the time. He just can't he can't say the stuff back. So I don't know, it's really interesting listening to him in a foreign country. He does, he's so nice that he does well anyway. So like people are like, oh yeah, it's great to have you around because you're just such a nice guy. So
very positive.
Yeah. But anyway, so actually, you know what, chat? What do you think of the name Saltcast? So we had another name we were thinking of, but turns out somebody's been running with it for a while, so I'm unsure about what to do. How are we feeling about this name?
Yeah, we were kind of just trying to come up with a new name here for this podcast because, shall we reveal to everybody what the original name idea was? Do you want to put that out there?
No, because I'm trying to find the contact information of the person to get their blessing. So if they if they bless us and they're like, go for it, then I might do it, because the domain is still available as well. And I'm sure there's some trolls in chat, so I don't really need to be like having somebody
Very
squatting
clever.
on the domain rights and all
Very
these
clever.
things. So,
Very clever. Let's
yeah.
just make up a fake one and see what we can get all these trolls in chat to go and buy.
Ooh, that's a good
actually
one,
meaning
actually.
anything. Yeah, apparently they like it though. They actually like the name.
Yondalon said smells castless, which is pretty good, actually.
That's actually pretty good.
Good
Smells
pun.
podcast.
Smells bad, man. This podcast smells bad. But yeah, the idea here is just for us to like talk about some Rocket League, some esports, some gaming. We had a good time doing the Salt Mine 2 together. Although, like, it was supposed to be a joint venture between me and Johnny, and it ended up being like a 90-10 sort of situation where Johnny did 90% of everything. And so I'm sort of riding on his coattails a little bit here. But it was really, really fun. I had a very, very good time doing it.
Yeah. We're probably gonna. Well, it was gonna come up naturally in one of the topics we decided to discuss tonight: the caster criticism, because you of course casted Salt Mine 2 as well. But yeah, a lot of you may not know. But yeah, Matt Smellsworth, he did help me like with the whole organization of Salt Mine 2 as well.
Well,
you did definitely a lot of the creative, a lot of the creative ideas.
Sure.
They were definitely a team effort. Logistically, maybe I did most
everything.
of the legwork, but
everything.
But the concept and the fact that it even happened in the first place at that time in the year would not have happened if it had not been for you saying, "Hey, we should bring a 1v1 event back. We should do that again." Didn't you have one in the last December or something?
Yeah.
What was it called again? Sugar Mine?
Yeah, the Sugar Mine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't pay attention to your stuff enough to even know what your tournament was called. Yeah, that sounds about right. I actually was watching Flake's stream, and he's like playing once. He's like, "Oh, ooh, Daddy-chan, Flaky. Oh, Johnny needs to bring back one's tournament." And so I was like, "Oh," and I wish I would have clipped it, but I just like bounced over into like Discord or something. I was like, "Johnny, I've been wanting to," because for a while I'd been wanting to collaborate with you on like a tournament to do some casting and to like just get the experience. And so you're like, "Yeah, let's do it, man." And then we did it. You did it basically, but it was good. How did you feel about Salt Mine 2 versus Salt Mine 1? Like, did it feel a lot different?
Oh, totally. Well, Salt Mine 1 was entirely pre-recorded, which is a lot easier to script. It's much harder to do like live scripted content. So Salt Mine 1 was only a YouTube thing. The year before that, I did the Manfield Night 5K tournament, which was also pre-recorded, but we did Twitch premiere for the live part of it. So it wasn't really live; it was just a premiere video of the live content, which would go up the same day on YouTube anyway. So this was totally different because it was all live. So there's a lot more organization going into a live event. And besides that, there was just more going on. It was a more complicated format. There was more qualifiers, more matches, more casters, more streamers. There were just more people involved, and Psionics were also helping us out in a really big way. So that was really different as well because they came in clutch in more than one way. So yeah, very, very different from me. What about, like you say, you watched Salt Mine 1, or you obviously knew about it, but what was visually the difference from the first one to the second one?
Good question. I feel like the one's meta is so much more impressive now in general.
True.
I like all of the game modes are more impressive than they used to be. If you go back and watch like the early RLCSs, it's just hard to watch.
True,
in some ways, right? Yeah,
actual comedy when I watch some of the old RLCS.
By the way, we didn't put that down to talk about, but people who think like the skill ceiling has been reached or whatever, that is really funny to me. Do you see how many people just miss? How many pros miss the ball just all the time?
Yeah, just straight with the ball.
Like,
yeah, as if the skill ceiling is anywhere near.
Very often, there's a term or like a concept for this called the end of history illusion. So it's like people generally can look backwards, and for instance, say about yourself, you could look backwards 10 years and be like, I'm a completely different person. But for some reason, you will have trouble thinking that you'll ever change moving
Yeah.
forward. For
Yeah.
instance, right? It's just like right now is the end of history. Right now is things are the most they will ever be, and it applies to a lot of things. And I think that's it's really funny how people feel that
Yeah.
way. But
Well, sometimes the only thing you could say is, sometimes a mechanic, or there's like a delay between the last big mechanic that got discovered, and
sure,
people think,
yeah,
oh wow, we haven't discovered a new mechanic for a year. We must be near the skill ceiling, because for some reason people associate new mechanics with the skill ceiling, which they're partly related, but in my opinion, they're very, like, mostly two different things entirely, because of what you mentioned, just like consistency, actually hitting the ball every time you try and hit the ball. Like, how many times do you see a professional tennis player at the very highest level just miss the ball?
yeah,
It doesn't really happen, unless it's out of their reach. They don't just swing and miss. But we're like, Rocket League is still at the level, even at the very top, where people will go for the ball and they'll just miss it. They'll just flip the wrong way and flip past the ball. Like,
totally.
eventually that's not going to happen. And that, when it does happen, it'll be a huge talking point because it's so rare. But yeah, we're nowhere near the skill ceiling, in my opinion, not even close. There's so many levels to go to, especially in 1v1, where like, offensive creativity is just increasing by the month, by the year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think silly mistakes in 1v1 are the most apparent, right?
Mm,
So like the fact that players are getting so consistent and are getting so good is just ridiculously hype. And it makes the quality of a 1v1 much better. So, if you weren't a 1v1 fan a year ago, you might be now,
yeah,
like
yeah,
watching how much better the quality of play has gotten.
yeah.
And you would be much more of a 1v1 mechanics historian than I, because I think the 1v1 center of the universe is your stream, really. But at some point during this, during the Salt Mine 2, I don't remember which match it was that we were casting, but I was just like, the ease at which Joria's and Astral, and I think Luis P sometimes as well, were doing like flip resets, reminded me of the turning point of when Devo and Scrub played on your stream, and it just became very clear that Devo had taken this insane thing, which is like a backboard double touch to score, that nobody thought anyone would ever be able to consistently do, and he turned it into a very
Yeah,
consistent move that he could just use in a 1v1. And we were like,
yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
minds were blown, because you're like, this is such a high risk move normally, and it's
Mm.
still, is higher risk than some things, but now it's like fair to say that that's a really easy mechanic for most high level players.
Yeah, if you've got boost starved opponent, just go ahead and hit the ball to the backboard, and you're nailing that double touch every time. You're absolutely right. Like, all these mechanics are becoming insane. Like, what's viable is it's just ridiculous what's viable. I mean, I heard Marky talk about it during Salt Mine 2. He's like, he can't believe that a double flip reset, midair flick, or midair shot is something that you can go for now if your name is Jarius in any 1v1 against anybody, and it's not a bad idea. Because
Yeah.
Marky was always the guy back in the day saying, stop doing that. You're not scoring that enough of the time. You're missing that more than you're scoring it, therefore don't do it. But now he's saying, actually, Jarius is scoring these shots enough of the time that he can go for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's really mind blowing. And you're right as well. Like, I've seen so many comments of people saying, I'm not really into 1v1. It's just a bunch of kickoff goals and flicks. And I'm just thinking, when did they stop watching 1v1? They clearly saw like a single 1v1 match on, I don't know, some like 3v3 players stream when they played ranked ones, and they watched one ranked game and thought, yeah, this is dead. But they don't follow the very top level, because that's not what's happening in these games at all.
Yeah, I think another cool thing about this one was like the caster army that you sort of put together on both like NA
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
EU, was really fun. It was just really fun to see how the different people were covering the games.
Yeah.
Lots of different sort of approaches. Some, Cole and Stumpy are doing it with comedy, and Karma's doing it with like electricity.
Hey, I'm so glad that she's okay, because this was terrifying. When I was live and I heard
Yeah.
about this, I was like, I tend not to believe the crazy things I read in Twitch chat
Right,
because
right.
I don't want to get debated.
Karma got
One,
electrocuted.
she actually got lightning hit, or like people are writing things in chat like lightning hit Karma's controller.
Yeah.
She lightning struck her house and it went into her hands, and I'm like, what am I reading right now? I'm trying to
Yeah.
cast this game, but obviously I do care about Karma's health and well-being, and she's casting a match in the other other side of the bracket. I was like, what is going on here? Like clearly something has happened, but I know that some people in Twitch chat are probably overreacting here. But in this case, they didn't have to overreact for it to sound ridiculous. That is, I've never heard of anything like this happening. Like lightning hitting your house, and then you get electrocuted through your controller, and then you come back and keep casting and tell your stream that you're okay. Like, how does Karma do this? Like, actual beast. She's just like, yeah, I'm fine, guys. Don't worry about
The
it.
clip is
You know?
really scary, actually, because
Yeah,
you can hear it.
terrifying
You
clip.
could hear it in her voice, like that she's actually hurt. That's like not the sound of somebody
I was
who's
scared.
like.
Yeah,
It's not like when you bump somebody, they're like, "Ow!" It's like, "Ow!" I'm actually like my body is telling me that something bad has
traumatic
happened. Yeah,
pain.
it was
This was
wild.
scary. It was really scary. You guys can probably find the clip on Karma's stream if you just go to Karma's stream and search like top viewed in the last month. I'd be surprised if that's not the top clip, unless I can't think of any reason why she would have deleted it. But yeah, she's fine. Went to hospital. They said that you're going to be okay. So mad respect to Karma for coming back and finishing off the cast on that game. Had she said, guys, sorry, I'm done. Even if she just turned off the stream and didn't tell anybody anything, that's okay. You know, if you get electrocuted mid cast, that is, I think, an okay reason to stop casting and be done. But she's a trooper. She came back and helped cover every single match of the entire qualifiers. It was a bit ambitious of a thing to go for, but we pulled it off. Thanks to people like Matt Ellsworth here, coming in and casting a whole bunch of games with Marky Duda. What was that like casting?
That was sweet. That was really fun.
Yeah, this is your debut. Obviously, we're going to talk a bit about casters' criticism later, but you know, not on the casters' criticism side, but just generally, how was that experience with casting Rocket League and also casting with Marky?
Well, it was great casting with Marky because we're all of us are mates. People probably don't know that. There was actually a comment and a question in the chat, like, how long has Smellsworth been in the scene? Because the first time I heard of him was Salt Mine 2. Totally understandable. I got connected to these guys a long time ago when Johnny was streaming on Twitch. He was streaming a Scrub versus Marky 1v1. This is like one of your really early ones. And I was like, oh, this guy's really smart. And I wanted to play. I wanted to get better. I've competed in a lot of different things in my life. And I know one of the best ways to get better is to get a coach. So I made a donation on Johnny's stream, like offline, and messaged him like, hey, I made this big donation. Like, will you give me some coaching hours because of this? And at the time, you weren't coaching anybody, so you're like,
no,
yeah,
I was
sure.
I was like, let's give it a go. But I don't really know how to start, so you're gonna have to help me out. Tell me what it is that you want to get from this. But yeah, it was very helpful. I did do that for a while, the coaching thing. That's how I met Matt here. But a funny story, when I was helping out the Flipside guys, I wasn't officially managing them or anything during season 1 of RLCS. I was just friends with the guys, Marky, Cux, and Mike. But we all flew to LA early for season 1 because they wanted to get acclimatized to the time zone a bit earlier, because flying out 8 hours or 9 hours in Cux's cases, it's a lot. So you've got to get used to that, being awake a lot later in the day. So and more than that, just jet lag in general. But yeah, we stayed at in Matt's garage with each other. I think it was me, Matt. Yeah, me, Mark, Mike, and Cux were all in there. We're all like just boot camping. They were practicing Rocket League on your PlayStation, your PC. They were getting out there, getting some sunlight. But yeah, it was a lot of fun being out there early. And the first time that we'd been to, well, first time that I'd been to America. I don't think it was the first time that Mike had been there. May have been for Marky. If do you remember? I don't know if it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was.
I'm
pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Oh my god, I'll never forget you guys all pouring out of the Uber or the cab or whatever. I was just like, oh my.
They sent me out first. They sent me out. They were like,
just the skinniest, palest, the skinniest, palest, tiny people that you've ever seen. I mean, Johnny's not super short.
Still, I'm still pale.
Yeah, pale for sure. Yeah. Pale AF. All you guys, most of you guys were from the UK. All gamers, right? So pale. And then Cux and Mike are just the tiniest people.
We're going to like Santa Monica, California, so it's like everybody's got a nice tan there. We are just like blindingly pale because we don't get any sunshine in the UK at all,
You guys,
especially if you never go outside.
you
So
guys got
we're
recognized on the
really pale.
beach right away, though.
Yeah, that was bizarre. So first time we just set foot in the Pacific Ocean, never been farther from home, and we were like, that's kind of cool. Let's go back up the beach now because we, not much to do there. We're like, okay, Pacific Ocean, nice. Turn around, and there was other people there for the Rocket League Championship Series, and they were like, "Are you Johnny Boy and Marky Duda?" We're like, "Shut up, get out of here." Back then we had tiny egos, nothing like what they are today. So we were shocked. We couldn't believe this. We thought Mike or Cux had put them up to it. But no, it was some other RLCS fans who were down at Santa Monica Beach. Bizarre. Really a new experience for all of us, for sure.
Actually, Jack's in the chat. I was in Jack's chat the other day, and he's like, oh yeah, Smellsworth. I remember you from season 1, which was a very weird experience for me to have somebody actually remember that because I was so behind the scenes.
It's a long time ago.
So behind the scenes. So yeah, I've been friends with Johnny and Marky and those guys for a long time.
Somebody else knows you in chat. Matt is the guy who celebrated with F3 in season 2.
Yeah, that's me.
You're in the money shot. The one with Marky in the camera.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I rushed the stage and I took one of the smoke cannons right to the face, and then they shut it off, I think, because they were worried I was going to get hurt. Wow. Man. That was on I was on a Euro trip for like 45 days or something, and I was just a mess. I was just partying way too much. I had a good time.
Tired. Yeah. I mean, then we went to watch Marky win the World Championship. We were so happy. Ran on the stage, and then you were like, I should probably get off the stage. Because I was their manager at the time, and Jazer rushed the stage as well. He was their sub, and you were like, I'm gonna get out of here. You just snuck off. People are like, who's that guy? Who's that guy in the money shot with Marky, looking super happy and also a little bit crazy?
I have a gif of that. I think Marky goes, come on, and then I'm like, yeah, dude, hugs, bro.
Oh, it was so awesome. That was a great moment, though. We were so happy. We were good friends. We still are with Marky, so we were just so super happy for him.
Oh, that was
to win, and they deserved it. 2 4-1s in a row. Absolutely smashed him. Violent Panda who? Nah, I'm joking, but we were really happy. That was awesome. That's why when I see Matt and Marky cast in Soul Mine 2, I'm really happy because I know that they've been friends for so long. And now they're able to bring some of their love for Rocket League to the Rocket League community in a totally new way. Very unique style of casting, because you're not like guys who've tried to hone their casting skills for years or tried to follow like a formula or anything. You're just like, what was the plan really when you got into those games and did those qualifier matches together?
Well, I watch a lot of Smash. I watch a lot of fighting games. And so some of the formative, actually that and CSGO as well. More recently, CSGO, have started watching a lot more of that. But the formative casters for me are Scar and Toph, and then Machine and Henry G. In CSGO, and they're just homies. So to me, homie cast style is the style that I want to emulate and have fun. I mean, I'm always trying to probably be more jokey and informal than in almost every setting in my life, not just casting. But I the homie cast is so fun. I love it when it seems like casters are really good friends and that they just hang out outside of casting, and they're just 100%. They're watching a game they really like and they're having a good time. And so that is the approach we tried to take. I will say that casting is very difficult. It's really, really hard. It's really hard to think of what to say, to pay attention at the same time, and from all the sort of coaching that you've given back to me now for casting, also convey hype and get the audience emotionally invested in the game is really difficult in a lot of situations. So it was helpful having a co-caster. I don't know. There's not that many people that probably cast ones solo. I think you're probably the only one that does it regularly, but it's a lot of airtime to fill with just one voice. I would say. So yeah, it was just really hype, but it was very difficult. It was also exhausting. Like
It's very tiring.
you're really
It is
done
very, very tiring.
because
Yeah.
you're putting your game face on the entire time. Like, let's go Rocket League, yeah, And after 4 hours of that, you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm so tired.
It's really hard. Yeah, it is exhausting. Like for those Saltmine qualifier streams, like I said, I've obviously done this a lot, so I've got the practice. But yeah, to go from like basically 4 hours of on and off. Yeah, there's a few breaks here and there just to rest your voice. But it's essentially like a 4 hour stream, then a break for a couple of hours, and another 4 hour stream every day for 8 days in a row. And I didn't know if I would be able to do that because it was a lot. But yeah, I managed to keep my voice like I didn't lose my voice all week, that was the main objective.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually I realized after I was done that it like I'd lowered my kind of energy that I was putting into casts so that I would be able to, have the longevity to cast all those games in the Saltman qualifiers.
Right.
Then when I started casting Summer Shuffle afterwards and Gold Rush afterwards, I was like, wait a minute. I know, Gold Rush was between Saltman quals and
Yep.
main event. I was like, I remember, like, I was thinking, hold on, I don't need to pace myself anymore. I can just kind of go a bit more energetic again because for usually for any other event that I've done, you don't have to cast anywhere near that amount that we did for those qualifiers, or anywhere near what I did. Especially it was a lot. So usually you can put more into it without fearing that you're going to lose your voice or without feeling that you're going to just die of like exhaustion. But it's still like really tiring. You have to push yourself. I'm always starving when I'm done casting.
Oh
It's
my
crazy.
god, yeah. It was
Absolutely starving.
It was a lot, and like being new, there was also a bit of adrenaline as well, like being live and like being excited and always an adrenaline dump afterwards. I did stand up comedy and improv in the US, and I would say that like before casting, you also get that feeling sometimes where you're like, oh god, I don't want to go be like extroverted and spirited and like, I don't want to put energy into casting. There's a real sort of, anxiety is not the right word for me to describe it, but like there's a real sort of dread right beforehand that you have to get past.
Apprehension.
Apprehension. Yeah. That's a good one to get you like excited enough to actually do a good job to really like send it. It takes a lot of effort, and I think probably if since I'm going to continue to do it, I'll probably get like a little bit of a routine or something. I used to have a routine before I'd get on stage for stand up, like every time that I would do.
Oh, really?
Like psych myself up. Yeah. There's this TED talk about like if you stand like with a victory pose.
I've seen it. Yeah.
It works, man. Yeah. It works. If you do that,
I bet it does.
If you do that for 2 minutes, it's really good. I think another thing I would probably will invest in would be a standing desk. Because I think you cast much better when you're like up moving around, and you're definitely able to project more when you stand up. So I think I would probably do that too.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
But I'll need to come up with a routine, definitely. But this is probably an easy segue into caster criticism, by the way.
Yeah, shall we just go straight into that as one of the topics for today? Yeah.
Let's do it.
So I'll explain what this is about, because it's kind of just something that popped up on Twitter and on the Rocket League's esports subreddit the other day. There was a thread posted, and there's quite often threads like this will be posted. Sometimes it's about specific casters, other times it's about just casting in general. But yeah, somebody posted a thread just asking for people's opinions on who their favorite caster was from over the years of the Rocket League scene, and they said that Findable Carpet was their favorite from the early days. Also, fan of the energy of him plus a wave bunker of Shogun. That was this guy's favorite. And then other people were allowed to, or other people added in their opinions in the comments. First thing I want to say is absolutely love me some Findable Carpet casting. Really do personally miss him from the Rocket League casting scene. And everybody's got their own opinions about what casters they like and what casters they don't like as much. That's fine. You can never please everybody as a caster. But yeah, Findable Carpet for me, definitely I agree. Like that is one name that I really do miss having around. Even I rated him. It's not like after he disappeared, I was like, oh my goodness, I never realized that how much I enjoyed his casting until he's gone. Now, even when he was there, I was like, yeah, he's awesome. So yeah, I hope he's doing well. Carpet, good guy, really awesome caster. But on to the more the topic about caster criticism. Yeah, most of the comments, if not all of them, I'm just scrolling through right now. I don't think I saw last time I looked through this thread really any negative comments except one, which I think has now been removed by a moderator because I just scrolled to the bottom where it was. It's now been removed. But yeah, it was one comment about no one being on the level of me and Shogun, I think it said. I'm having to remember now because the comment's been removed by a moderator. I think Jorby tweeted it though, so I'm going on Jorby's Twitter to read it out. Yeah, somebody he took a screenshot. It says nobody compares to Johnny Boy. Shogun comes in second. After those two, the gap is incredibly large. Blah blah blah. Basically doesn't really give any specific criticism to or any reason why no one is on the level of me or Shogun in his opinion. But yeah, he does say that that's what he thinks. And Jarby's screenshotted this and put it on Twitter and said can't provide any meaningful insight. Now, he also added a second tweet to this, which I think I should read because he's added it in here. It says, it's fine to not like a commentator, but this is the same type of guy to have an opinion about a commentator he has muted for the last year. They've been in the booth, which is a good point. Sometimes first impression of a caster will be bad. People mute them every time they hear them on. Never get to hear if the guy's actually improved. But the interesting part, and sorry this is taking a long time, guys, but there's a lot to talk about here. Somebody else made a massive thread about this, where they've written a thesis on their issues with Rocket League casting, and I'm not going to read out all that. And in reply to this, like 20 other people have written theses about what they think is wrong about Rocket League casting, and their reply to all this.
How many of them are interesting?
I'm not gonna lie. In this thread, the second thread, these comments are so long. They're longer than this entire monologue that I've just given you guys. I didn't read them. I looked at this thread. I was like, I'm not reading that. And I looked at the other comments. I'm like, I'm not reading that either. There's way too much. But in general, the topic is something that we should talk about, and it's interesting. But yeah, I've talked enough. So Matt, talk, and then I'll give my opinions. That's what's happening here, guys.
So I've recently been compared to Jorby in chat for my face being very close to the camera. So I just finished doing a nice zoom in. Yeah, I think there's not a lot of empathy on the internet. That's one thing. Sometimes when you run into somebody and they're mean to you or whatever, sometimes it's them having a day, but it's also like, sometimes like, if you're a performer, for instance, and you're having a day where like somebody makes a comment to you, there's going to be days where those get to you more than others. So I can totally understand why Jorby would just be like, tired of reading dumb comments about casting. Casting is also a bit of a thankless job in some ways. Like if the game is super hype and they're like, you create a special moment, which does happen, but it can't always happen. I mean, really, then you're going to get a lot of praise and, you'll be iconic. I saw Shoguns in the chat. I mean, who's more iconic than
he have a line
Shogun?
Or something? Does he have a phrase?
Hey, Shogun, could you tell me what this is? What game is this? This is Rocket League. I was gonna try to use that when we casted together, but I really didn't get a good good opportunity.
Game this is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's gonna leave. He's out of here. He started up.
Don't leave, Shogun. Stay, buddy. Stay. It's good to have you around. So him and Carpet, have this really special, super hype moment, and they become immortalized or whatever. But there's all these other moments where, it's very difficult and. When we were casting the 1v1 with bumps only, like the 2v2, the second person bumping only, that was very difficult. And I'm sure if I listened back to that, I'd be like cringing the entire time. So there's that, like, as a performer, it's very tough. Like I received a lot of very negative comments from casting in Salt Mine 2, but I received a lot of positive ones as well. But it's also not my main identity as well. It's not my full-time job yet or anything like that. So it's easier for me to let that stuff roll off my back than probably somebody that does it all the time. And then the other part is like, I myself am not expecting most 99.9% of people that watch to give me constructive feedback on casting, because what do they know about casting?
Yeah,
Majority of them will not know. It's sort of like when you're like creating a product or something. It's like you almost never listen directly to exactly what the customer has to say. You sort of have to uncover and
exactly. Yeah.
figure out like what are they actually saying here. So there was some very hurtful comments on YouTube comparing me to Ben Shapiro, which I think is awful.
I can't believe this. What is this?
Whatever.
What is
It's
this
it's
comment?
actually pretty funny, but it doesn't really bother me. But it's all good. But it's like, what can I do with that? Nothing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? I could literally do nothing with that, just as an example.
yeah,
And then there
yeah.
were other ones where somebody was saying he just keeps saying "yeah" every time Johnny passes it to him, which is a easy thing to do and a hard thing not to do when you're casting. To be like, hey, to do something, 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 Johnny, and you're like, yeah, I agree. And if you start every line like that, and a viewer notices, it becomes very annoying for them
Yeah.
quickly. So I
It'll
think
take them out of the immersion in the game if they start noticing it.
yeah.
Yeah,
What did I just do? Yeah. And I
exactly.
literally
Yeah.
just got done saying how I did, got called out for doing that. So it's very easy to do, and it's something that I tried to fix going through that, going through the rest of the series. But I don't know that most of the comments and criticisms that come through are actually like things that you could make improvements based on, unless you really sit down to ponder them and consider them. But
Yeah.
people are also just want what they're familiar with, and I also do think you're actually the best in the game, and I think that it would be very difficult for other people to compete with you due to the sheer number of hours that you've casted. Like
I've casted a lot.
no
Yeah.
one has
I've casted a lot of
anywhere
hours.
close in this scene. No one has anywhere close because they're not running show matches constantly as they're
Mm.
as they're living, right? So to also compare you to other people stylistically and stuff, there's going to be some differences, and people may be better at certain things than others. For instance, my girlfriend told you that you're not funny at all. I don't know if you remember.
I couldn't believe this. We were wait, is it because okay, the story behind this is that Matt's girlfriend, she knew that he was getting into casting for Salt Mine 2. And yeah, overheard him just I think we were just playing some ranked games, and she heard this and she was like, "Oh, is this your casting? Is this what you're going to sound like?" And you were like, "No, babe, I'm just playing some Rocket League." But thanks for the enthusiasm. And then yeah, I thought that's amazing. She really cares about how you're getting on here.
Nope.
Really, no, no. I was just like, oh wow, that's interesting. She's trying to trying to give you feedback here live. What does she think? Because I asked like, what did she think about my casting? And her genuine first thought was,
Well,
what was it she said again? What was it? There was two things. I
she's
don't want
like
to get this wrong.
she
What did
was
she
like
say?
she was like, oh, I don't know if I remember it or whatever, and which was hilarious. I'm like, we've definitely watched it together, and I tried to show you because Johnny is a friend of ours. She hosted us in Lebanon, and like she knows Johnny well, and
Yeah, we
then
met several times. Yeah,
she came
yeah.
back like 20 minutes later, and she tapped me on the shoulder. She's like, I remember about Johnny's casting. She's like, it's very serious.
Very
It's too
serious.
serious. He's not very funny.
No. She said it's very serious. You should teach him some of your jokes.
Yeah, you should teach him. You should teach him your jokes. Oh man, I was
I
like,
was deeply offended by this.
yeah,
Deeply, deeply offended. I couldn't believe this. Canceling my friendship with Matt and his girlfriend.
I can tell you,
Absolutely
I've
cancelled.
seen Johnny take on like online trolls and take those with a grain of salt. This one cut deep. This
Oh
is
man,
yeah, this
I was
comment
not
from my
happy.
girlfriend was the comment that got
I
Jorby
was,
triggered online. It's the same.
yeah, I was not happy at all. I guess that does actually segue quite nicely into one comment that I do, or one opinion I do have about this whole topic, and that is that it's okay, like for people to not like you. Like I have a lot of people who don't like my casting and who hate my casting,
Mm-hmm.
and I see comments all the time about like me being overrated or about me being too this, too that, not enough this, not enough that, and it's fine. I don't mind that. It's not a problem. Like I would be really surprised if if those comments didn't exist. Like I am perfectly okay with those comments existing. I read them and I sleep very soundly at night. Doesn't bother me at all. I think a lot of people are a bit too sensitive, and I'm not thinking of anyone in particular when I say this. Obviously, we mentioned this in the context of Jorby's tweet, but I'm not talking about Jorby specifically here. I just think in general, people need to be like thicker skinned. If you want to be a personality, or if you want to be a public figure, then you need to just accept the fact that people are not going to like you for no reason. There are going to be people out there who don't like you, and their reason for not liking you is going to be stupid, and that's fine. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Like Matt said earlier, the people who do know about how to improve your casting are not some random guy commenting on Reddit. Maybe they do have some great insight, but it's probably not them. I'm just saying, like, likelihood, they're not the people who have the best insight for you. The people who have the best insight are your peers, people you work with, other people in the industry who do the same thing. They're the people who are going to know how to improve you as a caster, in my opinion. Not because I think like overall the average Rocket League viewer, and I'm not meaning to talk down to anybody here, but I don't think the average Rocket League viewer, I think most Rocket League viewers, Rocket League esports viewers, don't really know what they want with casting. If you ask them to describe what kind of casting they want, I don't think they'd give you a very like descriptive or exact idea of what they want, because most people don't really know what they want. They just know when they don't like something. That's all. That's the only time that you notice something about a caster, is when something happens that you don't like. I think the most I get a lot of praise because that happens not that often. I rarely say something or do something that people don't like. It's not even that I do anything spectacular. It's that I don't very often do something that people don't like, and that's like my thing. I really try and avoid when I'm casting. I just try and not be awkward. Like you said earlier, it's just you want to just be a couple of homies, a couple of bros, a couple of lads watching a game, having a good time. Nobody wants to hear someone say something. If you're just hanging out with your friends, nobody wants somebody to just kill the vibe. So my entire thing when I'm casting is I'm trying not to kill the vibe at any moment. I'm just trying to let the game speak for itself, just enjoy it, and then hopefully that will come through. But yeah, the whole this whole like caster criticism, like all these essays people are writing on, I'm sure they come from a good place. I'm sure there's a lot of people who really do want to help people improve, help casters improve. I don't think a public forum is where you do that, though. I really don't. I think if you really do want to help someone, send them a DM. Don't make it on a Reddit post. Don't make it on a public Twitter thread. Send them a DM. Send them an email. Send them anything personal. Because if it's personal, maybe it can actually like turn into something positive. It's very rare that you're going to get something out of a Reddit comment or a YouTube comment and really have it change the way that you cast for good. Most of my improvements have, in fact, I think any improvement that I can actually remember have come from my colleagues in tournaments that I've casted, and from self-review, and from watching other casters in other games and in Rocket League and thinking, oh yeah, that's good. I like that. I'm gonna try do that. It's not from a Reddit thread or a Twitter like post, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff in here. It's just it's TLDR, honestly. Like
what I would add is that we could be nicer to each other online.
That's factual. That's factual.
We could chill out a little bit. If you don't,
yep.
The old adage, like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. One thing I have done, I use Twitter a lot, and I will be enraged by things on Twitter quite often, but I've just tried to stop myself from making negative comments on Twitter. Generally speaking, like if I'm speaking out against like power or something like that, or some really important cause, okay, fine. But generally, like if somebody does something that I don't like, or like has like a what I would consider a stupid opinion or something, I just don't, unless it's like they've really picked a fight with me or something. I really just try to not do it. It's a freeing spiritual way to live, Johnny.
So it is. People should try freeing. It. Yeah. But you say I should try it.
No, people should try it.
Oh, people. I think you said I should try it. I was like, whoa, what did I do?
That's right. Do follow me on Twitter. Do follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, definitely follow Matt at Ellsworth. I think the other important thing to note there is that, okay, as a caster, I don't get any enjoyment from seeing my name be lifted up at the same time as someone else being put down. I've never looked at a comment that says, Johnny's my favorite caster, he's way better than, and then another caster's name here.
True.
Every time I see that, I'm like, what is that guy doing? Like, he could have complimented me, but instead he's focused in on the insult of someone else, which is just negative,
Especially when
and it
it's your
doesn't make me feel
friends.
happy at all. Yeah, they're my friends and my
It's
colleagues.
a
They're
really
people who are,
interesting thing that people do.
Yeah.
Like when as streamers, I was watching some stream today where somebody was streaming and they're just like just saying nonstop bad things about the people that they're streaming with. And Trainwreck was like, you know what I do, Symphony? He's like, I just ban everybody. He's like, those people are talking bad about your homies. Do you think they really like you? They're just here to complain. And he's like, I have a ban list of 140,000 people. But I was
joking.
No. He said that, but I was like, you know what? That's actually like pretty loyal and pretty hype. I don't think you necessarily need to ban people right away, but you could just be like, listen, like this is a friend of mine. I like you. If you don't like it, it's fine, but understand that this is a friend of mine. So if you're a fan of me, you should give them some respect at least. You don't have to like love them. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna carry that forward. So when my girlfriend gets home, we're gonna have a talk about how she's treated you, Johnny.
I've been mistreated, man. Hey, after seeing that whole XQC like video thing that a fan made about how traumatized they were about being banned, I'm never banning anyone again, man. I'll obviously ban people, but that really caught me off guard. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like that could be so sad to that person just being banned because they've been misunderstood. That would suck.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that never happens. I really do. If you've ever been banned in my chat and you think it was not fair and you just got misunderstood, then please tell me you're one of my mods because I saw a video online and now I've been changed. I'm a changed man.
You're
may have
reformed.
banned someone. May have early banned someone in the past. Probably have. Just because I didn't realize how. For me, it's like how whatever get banned, lol. But then for them, it might actually be kind of a sad moment. So yeah, that sucks. But yeah, I mean the whole caster criticism. Go ahead, criticize me, but don't try and praise me by putting down people who are also trying to hype up the same game I am. Everybody everybody's looking at all the casters as if we're competing. Like I don't really look at it like that. I'm just out here trying to tell everybody and show everybody how awesome this game is. So if someone else is doing that, all power to them. Rocket League's a great game, and if somebody else is casting the game, you should appreciate them as well. And this for the same reason you appreciate me, even if you don't like the style or you don't think that they're as good. Like you shouldn't go hate on them for that. That's not helpful. Like, who are you helping? You're not helping me by going and hating on somebody else because you don't think they're as good at casting as me. That's the way I see it, at least. Certainly when I see somebody like hating on me to try and big up another caster, I'm like, well, I know that caster didn't gain anything from that. I mean, maybe they do, but even if they did, it doesn't make it okay. Yeah. Like we got to stop hating, like you said.
This applies to my girlfriend as well. So chill out there in chat, okay? We're making jokes. She's a sweet lady, and she's not home. She's not home at 2 a.m. because she's in the south of France right now with friends partying. So yeah, it's fine. It's no problem.
All good.
She's an independent. She's an independent woman, and I trust her and love her very much. So there.
Chat. That actually also does.
I'll get the ban hammer out.
Oh, careful. Don't ban anybody unless you're absolutely sure.
I'm going to make some sad videos.
Well, that actually transitions really well into another topic that we got for today, and that's the Azrael hate that he was receiving.
Man, people, chill out.
That one definitely was insta-ban. Like some of the comments that were said about Azrael, insta-ban. No hesitation. We're kind of joking here about early banning people, but yeah, what happened with the whole Astral thing is he lost an absolute epic series with Khaled. It was an absolute thriller of a series, back and forth, incredibly close. And obviously those two have a little bit of history because the first time they played, Astral called him the luckiest player that he'd ever seen and left the game after losing by a couple, 3 goals maybe. But that's just a bit of banter, and there's no problem there between those players. And, Khaled beats him 3-2, very close series, great games. I'm sure that everybody who watched it felt like they had experienced something having seen that series. And for some reason, a lot of people decided it was time to go to Astral's chat because he was live streaming and just spam a bunch of really hateful messages, telling him to kill himself and telling him that he's a terrible player, that he sucks at Rocket League. I don't know what else. I didn't really read all of them, but you get the idea. People were being hateful in Astral's live stream chat just because he lost a series to Khaled. Doesn't make any sense. That is actually as stupid as it sounds. But yeah, I can definitely speak for both of us when I say no, that is not the goal that we had when we're, trying to promote this salty aspect of 1v1. That's not what we had in mind. And that's definitely not okay, and it's not encouraged. But yeah, Astral spoke out about it. He was like questioning it all. He's like, he said he tweeted out that he hates the community. He spoke out about it on stream. He's asking, why does he receive all this hate? No other streamer gets this. Like what do you think is going on there, Matt, with this whole thing? It's crazy. This ridiculous amount of hate that he's getting.
Yeah, I think it's not surprising to me that he would be the one to receive some of this simply because of like his cocky attitude early in the scene, which I think is fine and doesn't justify any of these things. But the more somebody pumps themselves up, the more people sort of want to shoot them down. It's when you have that kind of air of confidence that he has, especially early on, and he's young. I mean, he's super young. He's very good at something, like world class, top 5 player in the world for sure. And it's really easy to be very confident and maybe come off as overconfident and cocky, and people like to put you in your place when that's the thing that or that's how they feel about you. And then with one of these one of these types of interactions happen, you sort of can easily become labeled as that from now on. And I think as casters, one thing that we may have advanced too much when we're like casting him is this like idea that he's a tiltable player and he's emotional and whatnot, which I feel like sort of plays into this, emotionally unstable, like is a sore loser, is a this, is a that, and then it leads to people sort of like being mean to him, which is not really not something he deserved at all. And the banter that he brought to the game, like the in-game chat, it was perfectly fine. First off, it was all quick chat. So
all quick chat, 100% quick chat.
You can't really say anything that mean in quick chat, It's you could be sarcastic. I think it's fine, like all your favorite athletes are probably talking a bit of trash on the field or the pitch or the court, whatever they're playing. Like a lot of the most famous athletes. They're saying more rude stuff, and it's like it's water under the bridge after the game is over, and it's a part of like it's a mental battle and aspect of the game. And I'm surprised we don't see more of it in Rocket League. Honestly, and I think we will continue to see it. I would think we would continue to see it from players like Astral and players like Scrub, for instance, who I think have sort of the same kind of lightning rod effect, where they attract some of the hate and the criticism because of, again, their confidence and boisterousness. So anyway, Astral is an amazing player. He brought us a really, really great series during the whole tournament, and I would hope that he would continue to feel comfortable, joking around and like messing around with people. And the level of hypocrisy of people that will take anything that Astral has said or done in these games and then be like, well, that does justify me telling him to kill himself. Is beyond me. They're like, he called Khaled lucky.
He said, "What's a save?" He said, "Great pass."
He said Khaled was lucky one time when they played. So clearly, kill yourself.
It's so stupid.
Just so stupid. Chill out. And you should never say anything like that to anybody. I saw a Reddit post and somebody in the Rocket League Reddit a long time ago saying like, please don't tell me to kill myself online because I already want to. Right? Like you never know what these people are feeling on the other side. If you're having banter and jokes about the game and what is saving people and stuff, yeah, fine. Okay. It's not really a big deal. But you should never be telling people to kill themselves or just anything like this. It's just whack, man. It's like,
I think this is like something that finally people have really started to become aware of. I mean, there was one thread, um, which I believe was strongly related to the whole Astral hate thing. It was called "We Need to Learn from Reckful's Passing." This is something that I know a lot of you guys who are watching will have been moved by. A lot of you will be really saddened by, myself included. But yeah, you know, I saw this entire process from both sides. Like I remember my real life friends. Some of them, this used to just be one of their go-to phrases that they would tell each other. Just like, you know, it would be like the same as a "shuts up." They'd tell each other to kill themselves, and it became very normalized for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people, it's just a normalized thing. But it can't be that. It really can't be. It is such a like it is such a horrible thing. And yeah, the whole, Wreckful situation doesn't um it doesn't make it any clearer. Like
No.
it just sucks. And I know that there's more to that than just that. It's not there was a lot going on with that, with him and with his life outside of hateful comments online. But it doesn't, it's still true. We shouldn't be trying to promote that kind of thing, and we don't promote that kind of thing. These kind of comments about Astral. There's a couple of other like angles that are really important as well. And number one is that, kind of the same way that I don't gain anything and I don't feel anything good about seeing someone else's name in casting being put down just to try and raise mine up. Doesn't make me feel happy. In the same way, I'm sure Khaled or anyone else doesn't feel any better reading about their fans putting down on someone that they just beat, saying, "Oh yeah, that guy you just beat, ha, yeah, he sucks, doesn't he? What a rubbish player. Yeah, you barely beat him by 1 goal in the last game." But yeah, it says a lot about you, doesn't it? Like nobody's happy hearing that all of their fans go and talk trash about the opponents, and even if they are, it doesn't make it okay. But I know for a fact Khaled doesn't. He's not that kind of person. He has a lot of respect for his opponents. He has a lot of respect for Azrael as a player, and it was a great series that they played. And he wouldn't want anybody to go say this. So if you're saying this, you're definitely not speaking for Khaled, and you're definitely not saying the things that he wants you to say. And
He says them
yeah,
himself. He says it himself. He speaks with his play, and
yeah, he just spoke with the way he played the game, won the game, and then he dropped a few what saves, which were again just fully in the spirit of the quick chat back and forth that they had, which I think was one of the best moments I've ever seen in Rocket League esports. Like
hype.
Astro was trying to tilt Khaled. He was trying to get him to focus on anything that isn't the game. He was trying to get him to go into this quick chat battle, and Khaled just refused to do it. And at the end, he revealed to everybody that he actually did have his quick chat on, and he was ignoring it the whole time by triple quick chatting and then leaving. So this is just banter between these two. They played a great series. They both know that they're great players at the very, very top of the game, and nobody wants you. Them, us, anyone involved, anyone who actually matters in the Rocket League scene wants you to go and be hateful to Astral or anyone who just lost a series or won a series. Doesn't matter. Like, you're not gaining anything from this. The player you're supporting is not gaining anything. No one is gaining from this. It's just despicable behavior, and yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen again. And yeah, good on Astral for calling this out, because it might not seem like it, but it's definitely difficult to call out that and say, guys, I struggle with this. Why are you doing this? Like, he is a really uh, big man for coming out and saying that and showing that he is vulnerable and showing that he is affected by this. Because now I'm sure other players who were too afraid to say that kind of talk is putting them down and making them feel sad, they're going to feel like they're going to be glad that Astral's done it for them, and they probably don't have to suffer as much in the future.
Be nice to each other, you guys. It's okay to have banter. Like, competition is here to show who's better at something, and it's also okay to get beat. It's also it's okay to win. It's okay to whatever. It's just chill out. It's all good. It's all good. One of the best things that happened to me related to Rocket League was going on that Euro trip where during season 2 and Marky won and all that, and I just played so little for about a month and a half, 2 months, and I came back and I was awful after a 2-month break, and around that time I just decided to quit really caring about my rank, especially on the given day. Quit caring about my rank on the given day, because generally if you just keep playing, you're gonna land where you're supposed to. Despite what most of Reddit thinks about how they're being held back by their teammates. You'll sort of average out and land where you're supposed to land. Like maybe one day goes well, the next day doesn't. It's like the stock market. You can't be measuring those volatile swings and expecting them to really mean something. But yeah, it's just chill out, have a good time, talk a little trash. If your opponents talk some trash, it's all good. No need to be mean to anybody. Tell them to kill themselves. It's a bit aggressive for anything. So anyway, enough negative stuff. Could we talk about like what do we got to have some other
Now we got more negativity, man.
Yeah.
We got more negativity coming. We're staying negative. But actually this one is going to be, negative initially, but actually I think I want to be mostly positive about it, and that is the whole omelet trolling in the Summer Shuffle Grand Finals.
Right. How dare they?
Yeah, I didn't really see that, but let me just read out some tweets here because I think that'll tell you exactly what's going on. So, Omelette were losing 2-1 in the grand final of the Summer Shuffle against NRG. They had previously lost to NRG in this same tournament 3-0, I think twice, or maybe it was 3-0 and 4-0, I think it was. So they'd been swept 2 times by NRG. Now they're losing 2-1, and they decided to bring out 2 marks. Luke and Freshness both used marks in game number 4. I casted this game. I'll give my thoughts on that later. But in the moment, nothing was suspicious. Now, Garrett, after the series, which NRG did proceed to win.
Nothing was suspicious. They changed cars.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously you could change car, but there could be more to it. Some people might change car and then totally change playstyle as well, but I don't think that happened. But yeah, after the series, which NRG won, Garrett tweeted out, "I'm all for having fun and stuff, but just felt like a little bit of a letdown with the marks and rainbow boosts coming out after the build-up of a long tourney. Regardless, so congrats to Omelet's team. Insane run, Summer Shuffle champions." Justin also tweets out, also NRG champion of this tournament. He tweets out, "Can't believe that a team that had so much potential to actually win ended up trolling. GG's." So yeah, I was caught off guard by these tweets. I didn't see the, I don't really see where they're coming from with those. But what do you reckon, Matt, Garrett, and Justin?
Well,
are they the ones who are trolling here, or are Omelet trolling?
If it was a troll move, why would you do it in that game? It's to take your opponent's, minds off of winning and their normal play, and it sounds like it worked. So if they don't want this to happen in the future, I don't think tweeting about it is the way to stop that. I mean, certainly, if I'm on Omelet and they're like, "Oh, you're such a merc! How dare you?" I'm gonna be like, "I'm playing
Mark, game 1.
I'm playing Merc.
Game
I'm
1,
playing
Mark.
Roadhog. It's on. I'm going full flakes. I'm gonna put a roach on there, and yeah, I don't know. It seems like a really silly thing to be worried about, especially after you won the tournament. It's not really a lack of respect. It's not like a real lack of respect, right? You're also like, you're guessing like why they did it. You don't really know. It's not like they said, "I'm doing this to mess with you guys," and it worked. Or, it's like you're kind of, it's more like, "Oh, I'm insecure about this and I'm projecting this onto you," more so than like you have actually done something to me. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Now, Garrett and Justin are 2 players I have a lot of respect for. They've done a lot for the game. They're incredible players, both historically and now. And I do have a ton of respect for these guys. But I think they're totally off on this. I think that they are completely off base on this one. And it is a little bit like, I don't know. It's not exactly a compliment, is it? After saying, "Yeah, you guys were trolling, but hey, regardless, congrats on the insane run. Hey, this team had so much potential, but they were trolling." It's kind of like, well, what are you trying to do here? Like, make up your mind. Are you calling them trolls, or are you congratulating them? Like, I don't like this whole sugarcoating the call out. Like, if you're gonna call them out, Garrett. Justin, a little bit more of a direct call out, to be fair. But I didn't see that. I don't think they were trolling at all. I think they realized, okay, this team are 9 wins and 1 loss against us in games this weekend. And it seems like no matter what we do, they win. Because it did seem like that. Omelet were playing some great games at times, and they would still lose. They were still like just losing games more often than they're winning against NRG. Yeah. And yeah, like you said, I think they just brought it out to try and take NRG's mind off the game. And funnily enough, I think it worked. If you look back at those games, Justin clean whiffed the ball multiple times in the last 2 games.
Skill
Multiple
ceiling.
times he clean whiffed the ball. Yeah, skill ceiling again. But earlier on in the series, he was just like perfect, like absolutely perfect. And then he's whiffing the ball. And I think it was because they were so like caught off guard by these marks driving at them. There's so many ridiculous goals where just like a huge mark is driving at the entire team, bumping everybody out the way, and the ball gets scored. Like I think it worked to a degree. I don't think it mattered. I think NRG were on another level that day, and it didn't matter what Omelette did. They were gonna lose, and they probably realized that. They're like, yeah, NRG they're playing another level here. Let's just try loosen up here. Let's try something different. Card changes can work. We've seen this work so many times, especially in 1v1. A card change can totally change the direction of a series. And I think the mark, if they've practiced it, makes a lot more sense. I don't know if they have, but bringing it out, definitely, it looked like it took NRG's mind off the series for a moment. They scored the first goal in game 4, for goodness sake. So it was clearly working at the start of the game. NRG were too good. I think that
talk about a really
come on, guys. Garrett and Justin, what are you doing here? Like, they had a good run. They're an up and coming team. These guys have got like no followers compared to you. Just leave them be. You've got like tens of thousands of followers. Don't send all your followers. Don't give them the impression that these guys are trolling and they're like first ever big tournament run. Like, come on. What's that about? And now all your fans are going to go think that they're trolls and they won't have any respect for them. Like, I don't like that. I think we gotta all agree here that Omelette, they're just having a good time and they're great players. They had a good run.
True. I mean, this is not a big deal either way. But if you're you're a world champ and you want to continue to be a world champ with like your new team, you gotta think that you want to avoid getting tilted or like even caring about somebody switching their car. Like, talk about the lowest,
Yeah, why would you care?
Yeah, and
why would you care?
And if you're Omelette and this worked, it's like what a return on investment for like the easiest change you could possibly make. You go back to the menu, you flip over to Merc, and suddenly you've taken the other team off their game completely. Yeah, why wouldn't you do it?
Hey, will they do it next time? If Omelette bring out Marks next time they play against NRG, I'm going to be so happy. I'm just going to be
they need
really,
to pair
really
with
happy
some chat, though. They need to get into the chat, though, and they need to like communicate what they're doing and be like, listen, we don't respect you.
I just feel like, is it okay if we troll this game? Is Rainbow Boost okay? Can I use the cat rocket boost noise or the car engine? What are you okay with, guys?
I mean, I don't think you could just
like, would be
I don't know. Like, there's a quote that's attributed to Jeff Bezos that I don't know if it's really him or not, but he's like, when somebody was talking about like the fairness of Amazon versus like bookstores or something, he's like, complaining is not a strategy, right? And I think that applies here. Complaining is not a strategy, right? This same topic it applies to people who are like, oh, this person's a ball chaser. It's like, well, every time you dribbled, did they successfully tackle you because you didn't look like you were going to move the ball? You weren't you weren't able to get the ball around them. You weren't able to be dangerous while you're dribbling. Because I think a lot of why like ball chasing, for instance, is done a lot is because it works, because most people can't on offense, can't get around it, can't outplay it. And so if something is working and you're basically you're reinforcing that they continue to do it. So if the car switch is working, it's like, why wouldn't you do it? It's within the rules. It's not like a rule break. It's some weird like unwritten rule that you've decided is a thing. I don't know. It's
maybe it will be. Hey, we better be careful here. It's going to be in the format for the RLCSX very soon. Like, you have to decide a preset pre-match, and that is your preset for the entire series. No clown cars. Like, I kind of hope that doesn't happen. And I'm not like a fan of players just going random car before every match. I think it does make sense if players have at least practiced the car they're playing a good amount, and have 2 or 3 cars that you can switch between. But they played good, and they played a good series in the Mark. They were playing well. They looked like Omelette were doing great in the Marks.
It's the same hitbox.
Yeah, they were doing fine. So yeah, they were doing really well. They were winning in some of those games. They were causing energy problems, and energy clearly tilted. So yeah, marks in the if you want to tilt energy, just use marks, I guess. But I don't know. What do you reckon? Is this the beginning of Garrett and Justin's phase where they just become so dominant in Rocket League that everybody's going to hate them? Not hate them, but when Dignitas and Gale Force were dominating, and nobody, I don't know, they never really had the most fans. People are always rooting for whoever they're playing because they were so favored to win every time. But maybe NRG, despite their popularity, will go down that same route because they're going to dominate so much. Everybody's going to be like, okay, I'm kind of sick of NRG winning. Like Garrett and Justin, they're now the villains. You're the villains of Rocket League. This is just the step one. We're going to look back at these tweets about Omelette, and we're like, that's where it all started. That's where Garrett and Justin started to become the hated players by the community. Yeah, I'm exaggerating, guys.
I don't think
Don't take this literally, but yeah,
I don't know.
this could be something that happens. NRG might be that dominant. I think they could be the
I
next
think
big
people will
team.
be excited to see them fall because underdog stories are always super hype. But I have a hard time unless they continue with
Do you think they're going to be
these types
that
of
dominant, or
tweets.
do you think they can be? Because they looked pretty far ahead in Summer Shuffle. They were on another level compared to the other teams.
Maybe I don't know. The threes
I don't think
meta,
it'll.
the,
I don't think
the
it'll be
threes
as dominant.
meta is generally not that impressive to me right now. But they did look really really good. I don't know. It seems like I don't know. They have weaknesses. They didn't look unbeatable necessarily. I
Hmm.
suppose it depends on how they show up. All three of those players have proven that they can show up when they need to. They're like all play the game a lot. Are
Former world
all very
champions.
very mechanical, all world champions. So they've been down it. So I would say that yeah, like they should they have the possibility to continue to be very dominant.
You know, one thing we didn't actually put this in the notes for the show as well, but I find it really
Can't
funny
talk about it
when
then.
people. Oh, we can't talk about it. Sorry. Right.
No,
Next topic. Now, I find it really funny when people say, or there's a lot of people speculating, will Squishy work on NRG? The only thing that I was wondering about whether or not this would work is whether they would work like in comms. Like, will their vibes be good? Because in the past, it looks like Garrett and NRG have won tournaments when there's good vibes. Turbo comes to the team, they're all laughing and giggling, they're winning tournaments.
yeah.
And then it kind of like got a bit sadder, and they were a bit more like upset about how they're playing. They're not winning anymore. So it's all about the positive vibes. If that's there, like for me, there was no doubt they're going to be good because they're all fantastic players. And I don't know where this idea came from that you can't put three mechanical players in one team. It's like
That's an idea
some
that
people are,
someone had.
yeah, some people are speculating like, nah, Squishy on energy, it's not going to work. Him and Justin do the same thing, or him and Garrett do the same thing, so it's not going to work because when two players do the same thing, they're going to get in each other's way and they're going to double commit, and yeah, it's just clearly not going to work
These
because
guys are
you
both
can't.
scoring.
Yeah, you can't have that many mechanical players in one team. You need somebody whose mechanics are just so bad. He's really slow at aerials and he doesn't have aerial bound. Every team needs a player like that to normalize and to fill in the blanks and just be smart. You clearly it's not going to work. Then they don't have a really bad mechanical smart player. I just think it's ridiculous that people still think this is a thing. And they don't realize it's just it's just random that some players haven't been filtered out yet, even though they're not that good mechanically. They're still hanging on. They're still hanging
Mm-hmm.
on to relevancy by teaming up with mechanical players and teaching them how to rotate. Yeah, especially Justin Garrett. Come on, how do you not think this team's going to work? If they can calm without getting really sad and really upset at each other, they're going to be a great team. Like they've clearly shown us in the past that they can do that.
Yep. I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
The Airbus. Of course, people talk about Farah now. This guy mentioned air roll one time.
Should we talk about RLCSX?
I think we should, yeah. So we RLCSX new format's all been announced. The league has been done away with. None of this is super new, but we've not talked about it on this podcast, so we're going to. But yeah, one thread that I think the title of it was a really appropriate thing, so I put it down to read out later. Is this is the best possible time to go to an open circuit, and I couldn't agree more. With there not being any lands due to coronavirus, this is the perfect time for Psionics to make a big change, and they've gone and done it.
No, what are you most excited for with the new format?
Um, for me as a fan of Rocket League, league play was never anywhere near as exciting as LANs, and as exciting as events that have a winner. League play is a whole bunch of weeks and weeks and weeks of content, and eventually you have a winner. But even then, they're not really the winner. They're just a temporary winner, because right after that you have playoffs where the real winners decided. So actually, league play didn't get you anywhere. You just got seeding for the bit that matters. Obviously, leagues can be interesting, and like RLCS was interesting. I watched all of it. I've always been a fan of Rocket League esports, but I think LANs and like individual tournaments are more interesting, and that's where all of the tournament moments happen that I really remember and will remember for forever. Like crazy finals, semifinals, even like earlier on in tournaments. Like LANs are where it's at, and online like majors in the meantime. Before LANs come back, that's for me where it's at, and the thing I'm most excited about.
When's your prediction on when it's safe to go back to LANs, Dr. Johnny?
Let me get my medical degree. Hold on. I've not got a clue, mate.
I like to hold it. I like to hold it when I make my medical predictions. I like to hold it.
Yeah, I like to just channel some kind of knowledge from it. Now, genuinely, I'm always a bit pessimistic with these predictions. I'm a bit pessimistic with coronavirus and everything involved because I want to be prepared for the worst. So kind of, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we're still no LANs for like another year and a half. Like this wouldn't surprise me because of America and the coronavirus basically, and the rest of the world as well. UK not exactly did a great job, I would say, getting rid of this thing.
We're number one. We're number one.
Yeah, until there's a vaccine, I don't see like it being easy to run LANs. But even if there is a vaccine, like there's going to be so many people refusing to take it. It's going to be a mess, man. It's going to be a mess. Luckily, online productions for Rocket League have been insanely good, and for me to cast them has been a great time. I miss LANs, but I think Rocket League can exist like just fine online in the meantime. It's going to be a good time. This I can't wait for this first split of RLCSX. It's going to be insane.
It is going to be hype, and yeah, we in esports are very lucky that esports is pandemic resilient.
Yeah,
it
is.
Normal sports is not. Normal sports got crushed. Normal sports got crushed. Esports is like, hold my beer. I'm going online, and it hasn't been 100% smooth sailing for sure, but it's been a good time. It's given us enough of a reason to get on Twitch at 2 a.m. and do a podcast. So
indeed, yeah. No, we got to give props to Psyonix as well, because they were for the longest time like getting a lot of hate and a lot of questions about what are they doing. There's no announcement yet. What is happening? And people don't realize it's all just the only reason there's not been an announcement is because it's not legal for them to make an announcement yet. It all has to go through a very long and organized process. And as soon as it is, like you can bet, as soon as it's given the green light, they're tweeting. They've got the tweet ready. Bam! It's out. Like they've been working on this for a long time, and I personally have full faith in the Rocket League esports team and in Psyonix to deliver RLCSX. And I could not be more excited for it. It's a great step here, and it's so exciting after 9 seasons of kind of a similar thing every single time. Now we're just doing something totally different. So I love that. I love that the risk that's involved
with it. It's a bold move. It's a bold move. I like it.
I think it's a great risk, though. It's a really good one to go for.
It's going to be super hype. We are definitely over the amount of time that we thought we would give to the podcast here.
Yeah, not too bad though.
Not too bad, but this is great. This is a good time. We got some hype in the chat. We got to revisit some dope moments from Salt Mine 2. So this podcast is gonna continue, folks. So smash the follow button on this channel because I will be hosting it most weeks with Johnny. We haven't chosen like a specific day yet, so but we'll be doing that more often. And then I think the other little tidbit that we could throw out there is that the Salt Mine is gonna be returning. We're not gonna reveal all the details just yet of what's happening, but Salt will be mined.
Salt will be mine.
The salinity levels will go up. This is going to be a well-seasoned podcast and a well-seasoned 1v1 scene.
Perfectly seasoned, yes.
So
good. I thought by now everybody would be sleeping. I thought people watch podcasts. I know people watch most of my content just to help them fall asleep at night. There's so many people.
That actually was a thread of conversation in the chat tonight. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I didn't. I was not following all of the chat. Were people falling asleep and typing about it in their sleep or something?
Might asked soon enough, my friend. Soon enough. We are actively working hard on some really dope salt mine stuff. So we will probably announce it on this podcast at some point. So we'll
give definitely. This podcast, give Matt's channel a follow. I know you're probably going to be streaming other stuff besides this podcast, but we plan to do a lot of these. It's a lot of fun. And there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in Rocket League now, so there's lots to talk about. But I don't think we have an exact plan about when we're going to do these. It's going to be a bit flexible. So follow Matt on Twitter, follow Matt's Twitch, follow my Twitch, follow my Twitter. You won't miss any of it.
Definitely. And I promise every time you come back to the stream, there will be like some tiny sort of improvement or change. Like eventually I may have a Nightbot, you know?
You might have a bio, like other than Smells Bad Man.
It smells bad.
You might have a link to a YouTube channel. We're gonna I'm gonna be helping Matt to improve this. Obviously, I've been streaming for years. Help! We're gonna get into this kind of scene. I'm really excited about this whole thing. It's gonna be good.
I'm old. Help me, Johnny.
I mean, I'm also old. We're both old. We're both extremely old for Rocket League.
It's true. You know what? We did make an improvement to the stream tonight. I did bless a mod. Mods? Are there any mods in the chat?
Is there any mod in the chat?
Is there one mod in the chat?
Grim Darkflame, a fine choice.
That's right. Grim was like, I'm not a mod in this chat, but I'd like to tell you guys to just chill out a little bit. And so I was like, /mod Grim Darkflame.
Do you know Grim Darkflame is one of my mods?
I did know that. Okay, and I hung out with Grim a bit and your brother's channel as well.
I'm actually banned in my brother's channel. I don't know why. Did he ban me as a joke, or is there something more serious going on there? Banned in Brian's channel.
Conspiracy.
It's a sad time.
Yep.
Sad time for Johnny Boy.
All right, chat.
Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, any improvements that you would recommend, we've got ideas. We're not going to spoil you with telling them.
Yeah. Keep in mind that you guys don't know anything, though. Remember from earlier, I was saying how you guys don't know anything. Keep that in mind.
Nobody knows what they want with content.
And be nice to us.
Say only nice things. No, but seriously, I think out of all the people that you could be mean to and not be, negative repercussions, it would probably be me and Matt. Like, I don't think we're that bothered about mean comments. So yeah, let us know. Just I tweeted about this, so you can reply to that tweet. Or are you going to tweet out? You could probably tweet out about this, or are you going to upload this to YouTube as well?
Yeah.
Place for people to compile comments.
We'll just upload this as an unedited banger. I love it.
Absolutely.
Straight.
Where can people find your YouTube? We're gonna have to put that underneath the stream here, underneath your stream. I'll show you how to do that.
Show me how to do that. Don't make me sound that incompetent.
I mean, you're nothing compared to Marky. Oh
Matt, here's how you embed a link.
If you guys think Matt's bad, you should see Marky do it.
No one said I was bad, dude. Quit painting this picture of me, all right? I just don't have anything set up yet. I just don't have Nightbot set up. I know what a bot is. I get it. I've seen you play Rocket League, dude. I know what a bot is. Yes.
Terminator.
Roast that nut.
Yeah, man, Marky's something else though. Holy cow.
Marky doesn't know how to turn on a light bulb. That is true, Marky. Grim. That's so true. There's video evidence of that.
I didn't know. I thought he'd figure it out. Every time we went back between games, I was like, he's not turned the light on yet. Oh my goodness. He's getting darker and darker over here. It's hilarious. But I swear between game 6 and 7, it got significantly darker. There was a big jump there. And after the series was over, I was like, whoa, he's now completely in the dark. It was a bit gradual before that. Then it's like, bam, he's in a cave.
By the way, I am an idiot, and Mr. Flosser came in with a perfect suggestion comment. Need more Jorby cosplay, Matt. I would love to be the European, well, not really European, but
you're American.
Located in Europe version of Georgie or Georgie. I love Georgie. I watch Rocket League all the time. Okay, everybody. I will end with the classic Jorby smile at the end of this cast. I think it's only right to pay tribute to my man Jorby that I've never met or talked to. So probably not really my man. But anyway,
maybe we'll get him on to defend his tweet there.
Absolutely. We would love that. We would love that.
We'd love to get Jorby on.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jorby, why did you screenshot the bottom comment, Jorby, not the top one that liked you, mate? The top comment was all praise for Jorby. He tweeted the bottom one that got deleted by moderator. Anyway, let's talk about another day.
Chat, thank you so much. Johnny, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
Until next time, stay salty. Thanks for listening to the Saltcast. You can find all the episodes, links to the YouTube and Twitch, and everything else you need in your life at my site, smelly.af. Head over there and I'll see you in the chat for the next show.